Be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready.
R-E-D-D-Y, resilience in my eyes, education, discipline, determination, and that's why.
Be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready.
Into another episode of Reddy Pipeline Podcast. You know what it is. It's Mr. Be Ready, it's Mr. Stay Ready, and Mr. Already. It's me, TNT.
All right. And you know, man, warriors wake up, soldiers check in. What mission are we on? It's Dr. Juichi for Money. Definitely a pleasure to be here with my brother for another Reddy Pipeline Podcast. Let's go, kid.
Already. Hey, well, you know, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since you saw us, so we back. Look, the plan is we're gonna hit you every other week. That's hit you twice a month. That's the goal, twice a month. But you know, when we talked last time, we talked about some current events, and there's still some things going on. You know, we're getting close to testing time. So yeah. This crucial time, and this is time where districts and the state, you know, it's about money. It's about money. We understand, but our kids are still kids, right? That's right. Our kids don't understand that, so they still, you know, this, you know, part of the year where the misbehaving, all the things, you know, everybody look tired, teachers tired, the students tired, the cafeteria workers, the custodians, the office workers, everybody in the building look tired. You know, we're
Yes.
Yeah. You know, and so because we're seeing each other over 100 days now. We hit it. We committed at this point.
And get the website.
Who was that?
The parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody that is engaged in the entire process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Feeling the fatigue of this time.
Bus drivers.
Yeah, bus drivers, everybody that got to do something. I saw a crossing guard cut.
Already. But hey, we back. You know, guys, what we were doing, we was having a conversation, and it really got intense. Like, it was like we were on the phone having a conversation, and it was really hitting on the spot. I said, whoa, let's save all this until we turn this camera.
You know, that's how it go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all the podcast is. Podcast is a intense conversation, and you having this conversation with us. And some of you thinking the same thing, some of you may not, some of you may be like, oh, well, you know what, that's a good idea, or hey, maybe, you know, I didn't see it that way or whatever. So that's what you know, whether you think it's right or you think it's wrong, it's our opinion. And some of it's all facts. Some things that we hit are facts. So just join in the conversation. Put it in the comments. Say what you need to say. You know, holler at us. So we would love for you to join us. We already said that about. I mean, if you're a teacher, if you're a principal, if you're any staff, or even if you're a parent, even if you just you're in the community and you just care about your community and the kids. Right. Hey, just come. Let's talk about it. Let's talk.
Community stakeholders, baby.
Yeah.
But that see themselves as a part of the village, they got to be in position to raise it, man. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, come holler at us. So the conversation was about we was talking about how we can basically our culture and what we do on a day-to-day basis, how you can add it into your classroom instead of looking at it as a problem.
Yeah, as a problem. So the criminal.
Yeah. You know, and it's about, you know, it's about doing your homework and your research. You know, It's about getting out of your comfort zone, and look at the comfort zone, or look at where that kid is from. Your school, where you a professor at University of Texas, Matt Brown, when he was there, I was reading his book, and he said, you know, one of the things he did was he looked at each of his players and he just kind of studied the players. And so he said, you know what, I had to start looking at their TV shows. I had to listen to their music. I had to do, he basically what he said, he had to immerse himself in their culture, in his players' culture. He immersed himself, and he said, you know, just learning a few lingo words, you know, a dance here and there, a gesture, whatever it may be. And he kind of got a buy-in from his players, and he said that was one of the reasons why he think, you know, they won the national championship that particular year. So, and in your situation, you know, tell the story that we were talking about, and it kind of pertains to that.
Absolutely, man. So just to put it into context, over the past few weeks, and of course I've seen this over the last decade and more, but over the past few weeks, there has really been an expansive and exasperated cases of situations where immediately when I hear the situation as an advocate, as a parent, even my own children, looking at situations between teachers and students, I'm understanding this is a situation of cultural competency. So one of those situations was I received a complaint about a student that the teacher wrote this out as a grievance, as a referral, that when the student goes to the trash can, they don't just walk to the trash can, they actually do the gritty, right? The gritty, of course, is the touchdown dance that what's his name, brother from Minnesota Vikings, that made, he made it famous, that they do every time they score a touchdown. So the student, right, who shall remain nameless, right, when he goes to the trash, he don't want to just walk to the trash can. He wants to do the gritty and get to the trash can, throw the trash away, and gritty back to the seat. All right. So this particular teacher decided that because that looks different, right, that's something that needs to be highlighted and criminalized. I use the word criminalized. You use, it's put up a disciplinary action, right? But when you understand that the pipeline, the prison, you understand the school to prison pipeline, you understand that when you criminalize that behavior on that small level, those begin to stack up, right? So the way that I looked at it was, and I had to discuss this with the teacher, with the educator, is when you see this behavior, right? Why in your mind do you believe that it's an immediate opportunity for you to criminalize, as opposed to being able to utilize that activity, that reaction, or that action for something that you can use in order to better connect to the student and to utilize it for a culturally competent lesson, right? So what I did was on my phone, simple as this, went to Google and I put in what is the gritty, right? So when I put in what is the gritty, about 25 to 30 different articles, different sites, different sources came up that talked about where the gritty came from, who were the players that were doing the gritty, what are some backgrounds about what it means, and where does the dance, the movement come from, so these are articles, videos, right? These are blogs, all of these different sources that have words, that have pictures, that have interaction, conversations, that have people's opinions, that have people's perspectives, that have people that are well known in society, right? So all of these different characters and players in this equation of the gritty that the teacher saw was something that could have been pulled into the classroom to create a relevant lesson, a culturally relevant lesson for all the students to learn from, right? A lot of times we talk about, they don't, students, the literacy rate, right? They don't want to read, they don't want to do this, but that was the opportunity to spark literacy. Because if they could have read about what they were already had an understanding of, everybody know what that is, right? You can spark the ability to read without even knowing they read, right? You're able to analyze something that they already know what it is. The students are already doing it. You can bring in your concepts and your pedagogy into a culturally relevant background that's already there, right? That you already experienced with the students, and now bring it to the forefront and boom, allow education to happen culturally and competently. All right.
Hey, I totally agree. But you've done. I'm saying that particular educator.
Yeah.
Either you done your homework on it, or you knew what it was. You just you failed or dropped the ball. I'm gonna say you dropped the ball. You fumbled the bag by not using that element. Like that's leverage. That's culture. Like I'm in there. And so just noticing it, and I think that's where we come in, and that's what make us effective.
Yeah.
And sometimes they think, oh, well, you're a male teacher or you're a male presence, or because you're a mentor, you don't come every day up. I hear it all.
Yeah.
Oh, they listen to you because of X, Y, Z. I mean, everything. No, it's because what we do, we understand. I don't mind using their own lingo. I don't mind using their, for if it's clothes, if it's whatever it may be, if it's just the street that they live on, their neighborhood, whatever it is, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. Why? Because I'm paying attention, I'm listening,
Yeah.
I'm observing, I'm looking at everything. I'm talking about not only from them, but from their parents, from their peers. Like you have to, and you want to make your job a little easier. Trust me. Just try. Try. If you try, you'll start to see that kid that normally wouldn't talk or normally wouldn't participate in class. I guarantee you that they will be engaged. You'll start cracking a lot of smiles. That whole saying, "Don't be their friend." Well, you don't have to worry about being their friend. As long as you, if you can get in and you can, I'm telling you, if you can hit, just hit that target of that culture target, man, it's all kind of doors and opportunities for those students to learn will open. Yeah.
And a couple of different things came to mind when you were saying this, and just to bring it home. One thing, and don't let me forget this. One thing is that we have to change our contextual understanding of what education is. Right, don't let me forget that point. The second point is that anybody, right, whether you are let's say for example, we in Stop 6 right now. We got to show some love to the MLK Center. Yeah. We in Stop 6 Texas right now, where we born and bred. All right, so hey, shout out to Stop 6 Eastwood. We in the mix right now doing this podcast.
Truman Street.
Yeah, we on Truman Street, baby. Where it all began. All right, so whether you from Stop 6, whether you from the West Side or wherever you from, nobody wants to be spoken to in a language that is foreign to them, right?
Right.
So what we got to understand is that being culturally competent just means that you are learning language that relates to the people that you are supposed to be serving. So if I'm an educator and I'm trying to teach somebody, right? As if I'm teaching ESL, I need to understand how to take language, right? The language of who I'm teaching and infuse it into what I am teaching. Right? That's a principle of even in ESL, right? Yeah. It has to be the same for every student because we got diverse background. They may actually speak English, but the backgrounds are diverse. So tapping into the background is also language and codes that connect to, strengthen connectivity between educators and students and educators, right? So doing this extra homework is just a part of the job, right? Yeah. So the second thing, and that's extremely important because I think a lot of times I don't know what. As a matter of fact, the refute that I had to that was that we don't have time to do that. That's a kinesthetic. Because what I said was that this student is clearly a kinesthetic learner, right? They learn through movement. Right, they're more comfortable. They feel stronger. There's more confidence when they are moving. Right, there's movement. There's tactile ability. Right, so understanding that and you're seeing it happen, you got to be able to utilize that. Well, if the curriculum framework don't show that, well, do you want to impact or not? Right? If you want to impact, then that's the extra mile. You have to go as a professional in the capacity that you are in. Right? So we got to answer that question. Do we want to impact or do we want to just get through?
Right.
So the second thing, and that's very important for us to think about as the village, as community stakeholders, whether you're an educator, even a parent, because, we had generation of issues. We like, this young generation, I don't want.
Right.
Yeah, we got to start to close those gaps. The second thing is the context of education. You said some phenomenal terms. You said listening, observing, right? All of these things make up experience, right? Lived experience. Experience is one of the key components of learning, right? Of education. But unfortunately, a lot of times we only think about education as being the class or the teacher. We looking up at the teacher, listen to what the teacher said. The teacher say this, and we got to write it down. No, every input into the mind, through the eyes, through the ears, what I'm touching, how I'm moving, how I see, all of it makes up the experience that characterizes my education. Yeah. So as educators, we got to use that whole experience. We can't waste none of it.
Right.
We can't afford to waste none of it. Look at the situations that we engage in. You can't waste the opportunity with him greedy. I got to use that. I got to tap into that. I see him. Then he beat on the table. I can't put him. You heard the beat? I got to use the beat in order to connect to him for the man.
Right.
Right? We can't miss none of it because it's that important. Right? So shifting our context and understanding of education is going to be critical going forward, man. Absolutely. And if we can do that collectively, then we can make that impact, on every student, no matter where they is.
Yeah. I get it. I was just listening to this on my way up. Izzo, Coach Izzo, Michigan State, a basketball coach. He was talking about the transfer portal. And I understood where he was coming from. But I still had,
what you say? Tell them give a gist of what it's. So he was saying
we like opening up the transfer portal. If you're not familiar with the transfer portal in college, it's me. Like now, kids can transfer after really almost after a semester, you know, but definitely after their season. They don't like the way things are going for them. They can go to another school, university, without penalty. When we were in school, I was in college. I was on the transfer portal. I went to 3 different colleges. Running your own portal. Yeah, exactly. I ran my own portal. But I did it with penalty.
Gotcha.
I lost years, and then I had to go down to like from Division I to Division II, and it was like so it was kind of crazy, a little difficult for me. But he was saying that we're not when you open up the portal, you're putting kids in a position that not allowing them to fail or face adversity, which I understand that. As though it's still that old school, it's that old school mechanism, but that's their form of failure. Like that's their form, because it don't look the way that we want it to look. Don't mean that it's wrong. They're still in school. They're still going to another university. They're still getting educated. They're still in the system per se. They still get, the goal is to. I know the goal for them is to make the NBA, but the goal is to be in school so you can graduate. That's the ultimate goal. So they're still in school. And so I was looking at it, I was thinking about it. I said, yeah, I get what you're saying, Coach Izzo. I respect him. I respect him highly. But that kid going to another school, because right now, even jobs don't look the way jobs looked before. Like failure doesn't look the way failure looked. Like now you're working from home. Now you can get on this, you can do a podcast and you can become a millionaire off a podcast, or I'm going to say successful off a podcast. So many different avenues when it comes to work, and it comes to all things now, the way life looks now. Do we still have the base principle? Yes. The principles doesn't change, but the way that the principles operate changes. And so that's what we in. So when I heard Coach Izzo saying that, like not allowing kids to fail, he said the NBA, you got to sign a contract and you do, for 3 years or 5-year contract, and eventually that still even the NBA, their NFL, it's not the same. The contracts are not set up like it was before. So when things change, and when it changes, we have to change with it. Not change our principles, but we have to change our philosophy and change the way that we see it. Well, we have to change the way that we work in it. You have to change the way a car doesn't. Some cars don't even have keys anymore, but it don't mean that it doesn't start up. You know what I'm saying? So
from A to B,
right? It still operates. It still has it doesn't have a carburetor, but it has the fuel. Like it's still certain things has to be removed, and then something else replaces it. So I just had to bring that up.
You make a. I love that analogy, especially for what we talking about. And that particular topic right there, y'all remember that one when we talk about the transfer portal, that the entire system of the NCAA, that transfer portal and what that means to our youth, especially black youth that's coming through the pipelines to play on that level. But that also taps into the idea of cultural competence and incompetence, right? Because a lot of times, youth, they come out, let's say they top division, they top athletes out of high school, and they commit to these large Power 5 programs. But, even though, the recruiter will come down and sell this, these different aspects of the program, right. When you get in the program, you're not getting what they said you was gonna get. You're not getting that family, but you're not getting the people that are reaching out to you, that are connecting to you. Like we saying, we got to connect with these students. Right. It's not happening. They're not culturally competent enough to understand what's happening, what's really going on. I ain't never been outside of Texas. Now I'm in Michigan. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's things that I need to help me to guide with, to help me navigate this new environment, right? And these things are not existing, or the people that you have in place are not culturally competent enough to help me understand how I need to move it, and socially, emotionally, it's a lot that happens when you take, when we move in a different space, right? If those things are not there, then in my mind, I feel like I am in a foreign land. Yeah. If I'm in a foreign land, I want to go somewhere where I feel like I am at home. I want to feel welcome. I want to feel at home. That's why a lot of times you see top division athletes go to Power 5 schools, PWIs, end up transferring to HBCU. Yeah. right? Because they say, okay, when I went down such as I felt different. It felt like they understood me.
Yeah.
You know, of course they weren't playing all these big, but when I got out there, they supported me in a different way. It felt more like family
Right.
than it did when I went to Alabama or other. Yeah, and that's the same concept, right? So when Izzo throws that out, they ignore those elements of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't want to compete. Because I heard that too.
Right.
The reason why they train because they don't want to compete. Well, if a child don't want to compete, it don't matter where they go.
Right. Because when you don't want to compete, you're going to have to compete.
We're going to have to compete.
Yeah.
So that is a great look and a lens for the power of culture competence is that no matter what level you're on, whether you K-12, you in higher education, you on the football field, basketball field, culture competence has to happen in a way that makes a student feel like what's natural to them can be, they can utilize what's natural for them for it to be a part of their development.
Right.
So if I enjoy music, right, my natural affinity for music should be a part of my ability to grow to my full potential.
Right.
And if the school system is where I'm going, where I have to be for a certain amount of time as I'm growing into my full potential, then that school system is supposed to cater to my natural ability, my natural genes, right? My natural word, right? And maximize it.
Hey, man, I'm thinking of, and I may show it on the video, about how when you get a goldfish, and that particular fish, you just don't throw that fish in the water.
That's right.
Because it's inside there before. Yeah, I know, me too. I wanted to fish like Arnold, different strokes, Abraham. The fish named Abraham. I always wanted a little fish, and every time I got a fish, the fish I'm like, why the fish swimming upside down? Like he's not swimming. He did. He did over. Well, but you take the fish and you actually you buy the fish in the bag and you put the bag in the water, and then it naturally would come to the temperature of the water, and then you release it in the water. Now, because what it did, the temperature of the bag, it slowly became the temperature that was in the water, and so it took a little time. It took you to put it in there. You just don't throw it in there, and that's what we do. We like to just throw, like, you know what I'm saying, just throw the kids in the situation, or we want to just throw our situation on the kids. Like, this is where you go learn, and if you don't get it, your parents telling you, well, you don't want to eat today? Oh, no, they give you food, and they sitting there looking, I don't like that. Yeah. Well, you ain't eating. If you ain't eat that, you ain't eat. And so that's what we are,
Yes.
I hate it. I hate that you think kids shouldn't have an option or have a say in their education. I hate that we think that way. We got to get out of that way, because if I listen to them, they'll tell me what they want.
And they tell you what they want, tell you what they need,
Yeah,
how you can help them.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. If you listen, trust me. I think you hear the cry, you look at the action, you look at all the things that they cry out. You look at it as sort of disciplinary, like you looking like, I'm trying to fix this, and you know best what you do. But what you know best, I think adjusting what you know to what they need and I'm gonna say what they need. I'm not gonna really say what they want, but what they need, because then their need is the want. Right. Again, I'm gonna say that for you real slow. In their need is their want. So that's probably as blatant as clear.
Let's go even deeper, because we talked about this as well. Not only will our youth, because the thing is, when we encounter, I don't care what your positionality is in the community, in the village, as a community stakeholder that is in position to impact and influence the next generation of young warriors, scholars, of youth, no matter where you are, regardless of who you are, where you are, we have to be able to, when we encounter our youth, we got to be able to envision them at their highest level, at their most optimized state. You got to be able to see into their future and see them operating in their greatness. You got to be able to see that, and then from that, what you see in them, then that's how you build expectation, right? So in that, not only will a youth that is naturally brilliant, naturally genius, tell you how they're going to, if you listen, what they need, like you said, they also have the ability to help solve the issues that you have. right? So for example, you got a classroom and you got behavior issues, you should be identifying the most influential student. Right? The most influential student is gonna tell you, okay, you probably shouldn't sit such and such.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you ask them, if you empower them and ask questions, they've been with the same student for the last 2 years. They know who needs to sit where, who gonna do what when this happens. You can't, if you say this about it, he gonna react in this way. She gonna do this.
Yeah.
But we got to be able to listen and stop treating them like they're little robots, as opposed to treating them like they are burgeoning and growing into the natural greatness that they already have. And you just creating a space, an environment where they are growing and becoming everything they were created to become. Listen to the youth, because in the youth, they have solutions. They have ways of approaching real life, situations. They know opportunities. They can identify, things that we might have missed. You looking over here, they saw it over here, So give them that space to utilize what's natural to them, right? And it kind of transform it and move around how we thinking about it, so that we can allow them to kind of flow. They're going to lead their own development if we allow them to. We just got to be the guy that we cultivate. Okay, let's go to stay here. But they still move.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's the approach, the lens, shifting that we may need to grasp. Now, I say may because I'm being like, but we need to grasp and say, hey, let's shift this whole situation and start to change our metrics on their growth.
And I'm be a devil's advocate. Don't hear right. And what and I know somebody out there saying, but what about the teacher with 30 kids in their room? What about the teacher with the 27, whatever, with a room full of kids and most of them deemed as behavior problems, which I don't really think is. You have a few kids, like you said, your leaders.
Yeah.
Those natural born leaders.
Yeah.
And sometimes those natural born leaders will get bored or whatever it may be. I'm going to entertain, and they can get they can sway the flow of your class.
Yeah.
And so just speak on that when you have a room full, like how to operate. Now I have an answer for that, but just can you speak on the when it's an overcrowd?
I think what comes to mind is what we've already discussed. I think when you're talking about a classroom where you have a lot of students, you got a lot of different personalities.
Yeah,
that's when you have to really be mindful of utilizing every experience. Like the students that you're talking about is the one that was gritty and to the training camp.
Yeah.
If you start criminalizing him, you just criminalize 7 other people.
Right.
Immediately, right? And you turned off 5 more.
Right.
So that's 12 you done lost already. So 12 is already going to be disconnected. Yeah. They disconnected themselves from everything you had to say. When you told him he can't do this no more, and you started to go in on this because they know, okay, he just what did they see? They have a spirit of justice and somebody right about that, right? You know what I'm saying? So you starting to lose people, right? So instead of doing that, right, shifting in and say, okay, how can we maximize that? I know Terrell is an influencer, right? If I'm able to get him in position where he able to use his voice is going to pull that 12 towards the true mission of what I'm trying to accomplish. Right? Then I'm gonna get her. Her talent, her art talent is so phenomenal that I'm gonna use her to put up the graphics of what I'm trying to do. Then you start to tap into every talent and ability of the students, and you utilize it to accentuate the mission of your classroom, what you're trying to accomplish. That's my answer in a nutshell.
No,
but it takes cultural competence to be able to stand back and dissect and analyze critically what it is, how you need to move, who you need to galvanize, who you need to mobilize, who you need to empower, how you need to do it. I think a lot of times the frustration, and we talked about this before, when we don't have the self-care practices and all these things, it's hard to see that when you're tired. I thought, I don't even want to look at it. Right. But I'm saying, step back, take a deep breath, and start to look at every experience, every interaction as something that you can pull from and utilize. Right? So that's my simple answer.
So when we go deeper, so what Dr. J just said was, form a great committee. Form you a great committee within your students, but when you form that committee, you have to know what their superpowers are. You have to know what each student can bring to the table, and once you find that out, allow them to work within their superpower, and then watch your class take off. Watch your class really teach itself.
Yep.
So yeah, I love it.
And how powerful is that? I want to say we didn't take that in.
Yeah.
Watch your class teach. Think about how much stress that took on them to do. That's what a lot of teachers and brothers to hear that.
Yeah.
You try to accomplish this goal, and you in the flow. You come in, everybody just flowing. They in a flow state.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They in it, boy. They know how to move. Okay, boy. They know how to impact each other. They helping each other. They build, and you see a community building. We talking about community building because this ain't about just the classroom. You want them to take habits and principles from what they learn in this process, K through 12, and take it into real world situations and continue to flourish and continue to impact and continue to build, create, and produce. If you creating that community within your space, it's going to flow over, and now that becomes the culture expectation that they operate with. So how they treat each other is going to be based on the expectation that they operate in consistently, right? So the idea of violence, that it don't make sense to what we build.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When we come here, Smith, we helping each other. You know what I'm saying? I know he from there, so I'm from there, but so we work together. Look what we did. We built this whole structure right here together. It don't even make sense for me to fight him because we look what we can build collectively.
Yeah.
But we next week we're gonna do one twice as big. It's gonna be twice as cold. You know what I'm saying? So that thinking, it should be exciting for us. You know what I'm saying?
Keep the crunk, y'all.
Yeah, I'll get fired. You're right. I get fired up, baby. I love it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, Cam. When you were speaking of that, like we said, we right here in Stop Sig, right here where we grew up, community front line.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah, those some of my Dunbar brothers right there. Community front line. You just explained that.
Yeah.
Because they were doing that at a young age. I'm a little older than they are, a couple of years, and I think some of them they were freshmen, sophomore.
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
And when I saw those group of guys, you know, it was just something about it. I saw it early. I couldn't put my hand on it. And right now, those guys are, man, they doing so much amazing work here in the community. And it started back then. It probably started before then. I just saw it at that point, didn't know what it was. But, and that's basically what you just said. Those guys were in training, and now they're forced to be reckoned with. But they was doing it for years and years and years. Yeah. Now they're able to make a economic gain and help others do the same thing.
And make it impact the same.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And, big shout out to community front.
Shout out to the brothers, man. Absolutely, man. No, that's a phenomenal example, man. And just imagine, man, if you can, as a teacher, that's now you standing back and looking at it through a lens where you ready to empower, right? You not worried about criminalizing. You ready to empower. You identifying. So, see, this is my thought, right? As our students, our young warrior scouts are flowing. This is for parents, right, in the home. This is for, at the church, wherever you are, and you see, and you're able to connect and influence and observe youth. You are identifying vision. You helping them identify vision. That's our main job, is to help them identify that superpower, right? If you can help them identify that superpower, then you know how to base your interactions with them. You know how to gauge and help them to base their own action and decisions based on the vision that you're helping them develop. You just asking a simple question: How does this action, this decision that you about to make, or you made, how does it support the vision that you have for yourself and who you can become based on this discussion that we have, based on what you're identifying? It starts to make sense in a different way if we step back and say, "Oh, this ain't about criminalizing behavior. This is about connecting behavior to greatness, connecting behavior to purpose, connecting behavior to vision for impact," right? As opposed to that what we call hyper visibility. When something looks different, right? We didn't see that where we came from. It must be wrong.
Right.
He looked different, but the behavior was different.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? He big. You know what I'm saying? No, that don't mean it's wrong because it looked different than what you came up with. It means that you need to help that difference to be connected to what the difference that it's supposed to make in the work. You know what I'm saying? And that's our position as the village, right? So, no, man, cultural competence.
That's it. That's what we'll name this.
Yeah, man. So, and guess what? If that's a challenge, right, which I see it all the time. If it's a challenge, and we got to be honest with you have a challenge with identifying. It's hard for me to see that because as soon as I see something, my mind goes. If that's the case, then you need help. You need and it's okay.
Yeah.
You need to bring in some people that have been engaged in this, this type of work, that have been able to guide this type of work, that has been, putting in the work to perfect and develop and build these type of relationships, where we can go in immediately and connect. It's something that takes time, and something that, if you put in the right mechanisms, you can build and grow to it, just like with anything else that you do.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, there it is. Shameless plug. So we would love the opportunity to come in and consult with you, and professional development will definitely help you to be able to see and use those type of tools to optimize the education experience on your campus or wherever it is that you are.
Yeah.
So I would love the opportunity, because at the end of the day, we are the village, and if the village is not strong as a whole unit, then it affects all of us. So it's important that we do that for each other.
Oh, really? Hey, I love it. It's been a good one, man.
Yeah.
It's been a good one. We're going to chop this up like, hey, matter of fact, some of you may even use this bits and pieces in a PD. We gave some vital information, and we gave some things that could be implemented on your campus right now. So, But like I said, just hit us up, email us, comment, whatever, leave your information. We'll definitely will come to your campus or come to your wherever your organization is. We'll come in there and just do the whole shebang and give it to you right there.
We're on a mission.
Yes, yeah, we're on a mission, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm another shameless plug, guys. I'm almost finished with the book. I'm this close. I'm this close to finish with the book. It's been a long time coming, but yeah, we got a book coming. I have a book coming out. It's called Child Support. Looking forward to getting that in your hands and getting that into those districts and any other youth organization hands that need help with building relationships with their not only the youth but with the community as well, and with the stakeholders. So absolutely. But hey, we done.
Hey, we done.
We done. Hey, we have
What's the pipeline power builders, man?
yeah.
Let's go.
Pipeline Power. We got Reddy kids.
Yeah.
We got a basketball going on right now. Yeah. So absolutely. I don't know what's today's date. I'm trying to look and see by the time when it's hit the airways, will it.
Tell them to get with some few hundred. They might be extend the season.
Yeah.
We can support the situation.
Exactly. So we have a tournament and a pep rally, Start Test pep rally going on at the same time. Then we're gonna have another tournament because we have we're running two different leagues out of Fort Worth ISD and out of Crowley ISD. We're gonna allow them to play each other. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a good one. And if we're trying to take that. We have one tournament that will be at Dunbar High School, Fort Worth Dunbar.
Yep.
Then the other tournament, we're trying to take it to a college campus to make, a big experience and getting those kids on the college campus just to see it and just get that energy from a college campus. But with that in a nutshell, we just go close this thing out. I appreciate you come out and support us on that. I'll leave a flyer information on the website and on the podcast. And hey, I want you to be ready. I want you to stay ready, and I want you to be all ready. It's me, Ted T.
All right. You know what it is, baby. We warriors, wake up soldiers, check in. What mission are we on today? Listen, let's go get it. Be the village, be the pipeline of power builders that's going to build the pipeline for our youth from where they are to where they were created to go. Let's go get it today. We are on a mission. So,
all right. See you next time.
Be ready.